Welcome to Nowhere in Milwaukee. I am your host, Khoua Thao, and tonight we will take an in-depth look at the poverty that exists in the city of Milwaukee. How the ordinary people in the city of Milwaukee take the fight against poverty into the streets. We will talk to the people who are neither living in poverty or have experienced poverty in one form or another. All that and much more coming up on Nowhere in Milwaukee. Within the last 10 years, the rise of poverty in the city of Milwaukee has become more and more of a constant. With more than 1,500 people living homeless and in the street, numerous of families and communities are living in poverty. And with nearly 50% of the entire Wisconsin prison population are from, Milwaukee is known to be one of the nation's most segregated and poorest cities in the United States of America. To understand what poverty is, we must first identify it.
The poverty that we experience the most would be the poverty that comes along with the lack of resources to do what one needs to do for herself or himself and for their family.
Even if one is working, they may not have enough money left over, despite having a job, to pay for food, clothing, shelter, transportation.
Poverty is when someone cannot provide the basic need for his or herself.
People not having enough money to make it to the end of the month to buy groceries.
As humans, we all need a place to stay, we all need food to eat, and we all need water to drink.
Poverty is just really depressing and sad because once you're in poverty, it's really hard to get yourself to a situation where you can flourish because you're short of money. You need money to do anything.
You could be totally rich and have all the money in the world, but you could also be poor at the same time because you don't have nobody to share that with. And the only time that they're around is because you have money. But once that money's gone, they're gonna be gone too.
I feel like people, they don't know, unless you have experienced poverty, then you don't know how serious it is. There have been times where I was unable to provide food for my 2 children, and I went to like food pantries and family members for food. Unless you have been there, then you really don't know.
We know access is easier for some than others. You're talking about pipelines to poverty, you're talking about mental health, you're talking about education, you're talking about just being given an opportunity to even contribute in ways where there's some kind of gain or some kind of return. I think that especially in the communities of color, in Black and Latino communities, we are always told to give. Be a good Samaritan, go do community service, go contribute. The conversation around what goes back into our communities and homes so that we can thrive, it's really not balanced. And so we have to start really talking about what that return looks like. You give so much and consider physical health and consider mental health and consider like the relationships and your ability to maintain culture and structure in the home, and all the while still be able to talk about paying your rent and being able to eat and things like that. So I don't know, I just think it's a very unbalanced conversation and there's no one angle to look at it. And so I definitely grew up in a poor family that was rich in culture. And I think growing up in that poor family that was rich in culture, it gave me what I needed to have a chance as far as being a successful adult.
The city of Milwaukee has many faces of poverty. These are their stories.
Aaron, and I drink because I get away from the pain, but living out here, but I love the woods here and there because that's what I got, and I live in a little wooden shack over here, and I try to take care of as much wood as we can. So
I built
this is my first. Me and my girlfriend used to live, but it's kind of messed up because I haven't been upgrading it, but I can still fix it up for someone to sleep into. Nobody at the moment. That's just the storage at the moment. My crib. See? How was that? See? I need more blankets, more pillows, more stuff. You know? That's how we live.
Pues, ¿qué más puedo decir? Yo no puedo más decirles más, porque pues aquí estamos recibiendo toda esa ayuda de todos los hermanos de la radio, de la televisión, como ahorita que nos están aquí entrevistando y todo, y estamos recibiendo todas esas ayudas. Gracias a Dios estamos aquí vivos y pues sí. Es ok. Todo lo recibimos con la gracia de Dios y de ellos. Estamos aquí estamos recibiendo todo eso. Sí, pues aquí estamos. Sí, ya. Les deseo a todos feliz año nuevo, que Dios los bendiga y que, pues sí.
Everybody want to protect to all each other. You know? This is my friends.
Yeah. Everybody,
this
my
is
friend,
my family.
Yeah.
I don't got no my family over here.
Yeah.
This is my
So
family,
hungry,
my
you
real
know,
family.
Thank you for the food,
And everybody have to
thank you.
protect to.
Protection for everybody, you know.
Yeah. My family is in Mexico, but now it's different. Now this is my new family. Yeah, for everybody. This is my real friends. They protect to me in the streets.
They protect to everything, you know. Protect to him, protect to me, you know. Like washes,
they help
you know.
me.
Yeah.
Always help me.
Yeah. Because in the rich somebody comes, you know, they come somebody, you know, it's you know, but
he tried to protect the other guy, but everybody was drawn the last.
Thank you very much because you're
time,
going to the blinky, everything, you know, the food, you know.
And the weather, depending on circumstances, you know, you gotta be available to change your plans. You know, I often I go to the library often because it's warm and it's dry, and I like to read. And then I come back here and have something to eat on the way, and then go to sleep. It's a challenge. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how challenging everyday things are. For instance, if I want to take a shower in the morning, I gotta walk like 5 miles, you know. And if it's hot out, like in the summer, I'm just gonna get sweaty on the way back. You know, brushing your teeth is a chore because you gotta find a place where you can have a sink where they aren't gonna frown upon you using their sink. You know, like a private bathroom in a library or gas station works, but sometimes you just gotta go without, you know.
In January of 2017, during Milwaukee's coldest winter ever recorded, we found a homeless man who lived in one of the many homeless camps that is located nowhere in Milwaukee. Under the cold night and sitting by the doorway of a shed, we have talked to a man who had dedicated his life to serve others even under the poorest condition. T.R. Winsky shared his story.
My kids have all my guns, all my fishing equipment. Initially because I got sick, lost my job, lost my home. I now choose to be out here to help others. Poverty is not being able to support yourself with the minimum. Poverty is not supporting your children, if you have them, with at least the minimum for existence: a roof over your head, food on the table every day, being able to have clean clothes to go to school for children. Not being able to do that is poverty, or just barely being able to do that is poverty. I've seen homeless people who have nothing because of poverty, lack of jobs, or underemployed. Less than 12% said drug addiction. Less than 10%, I believe, said it was alcoholism that caused them. And less than 10% said mental disabilities. Poverty, not having enough money, not being able to find work. This is always a place, especially during the summer, that people crash and you can't see them. First time I walked into a meal site homeless, I was frightened. I didn't know what to do. When it came to me, I knew what other people were doing. I didn't have a clue what I could do to survive. I learned. I learned from people that I knew, people that I became friends with, who showed me the ropes, and now I try to help people the same way. I'm also able to help them find resources in Milwaukee to get help, whether it's connecting them with someone in the government bureaucracy that can help them, or a Quest card, or a free cell phone, or Badger Care, getting them started so that they can get the help they need. It's been a long journey. Hasn't always been fun, but for the most part it's been rewarding. I'm glad I've been on this road so far, and I hope that it continues.
It was eye-opening to see that there are so many people, real people living in very poor conditions right here in the city of Milwaukee. We had the privilege to talk to and share some of the stories from the people of Milwaukee. This is what I have to say.
You know, it's kind of hard, but I'm making it. And I see other people, you know, worse than I am. And they need it. The veteran needs it more because they helped us. And they need it. And then the children nowadays, they need some food, clothing, shelter, you know, a little apartment, a little park. You know, they can play in their soccers and stuff like that. So we need help. We need more shelters for, you know, for the people. Because there's a lot of homeless people out here for different reasons. I mean, you go to bus shelters, keep warm, cops stop you until you get, you know, move it, or you get arrested. I mean, people trying to, you know, find warmth, and they don't care. There's like discrimination, like all the minorities. I'm right in the middle of it. 35 years ago, I was on the streets and I got help, and now I'm back on it again now. It's a little bit different now than what's then, because shelters back then will help you. Now they got 201. In fact, they don't help you at all. They discriminate. Milwaukee lost its touch 35 years ago. We need to improve it more. You know, let kids be kids, you know, have more activities and more festivals, and, you know, let everybody come out together.
In 2010 or 2011, my little sister was born. My mom was unemployed. I was in school. There's a lot of problems at the house. I had 7 people living at the house. But with my mom being unemployed and with all my siblings being different fathers, and it's kind of the situation we were dealt with. My little sister was born and she had a couple of health problems, right? She had a blood disability, and we took her to the hospital, my mom did, and she came up with evidence of a broken rib. Since my mom was unemployed and they looked at her past and kind of looked at my own and my other siblings' past with her boyfriends, they took my little sister away because my mom wouldn't be able to support her through her position.
The thing is that my old lady passed on me, probably, you know, I was with another one for 5 years. She just drank too much. I couldn't put up with her. But I mean, my other one was with me for 17 years. And 6 gals died on me. And life's just terrible. It just really is. I mean, I don't care how much you want to try to make it soft soap.
Yeah.
I just, when that last one passed on me, you know, right, that was enough. I couldn't take it. And so that's why I walk up here. That's what you asked.
And I appreciate you people coming over and bringing me nice food and stuff. I'll tell you the truth. I probably wouldn't make it otherwise. I probably wouldn't. Swear to God. I don't believe I would make it. You know, I applied for Social Security and all this shit. Debbie was helping me with some of that, and then she just gives up on me. You know, okay. And too bad, right? I guess, what can I say? I gave up on her, so she gave up on me. Right? Pretty much the way it is. And I think in a couple of weeks, I'm just going to pick my little happy ass up and I'm going to go to front Florida. And you know what? Might be the best thing I can possibly do. I don't care if it's warm up here. You got me? I don't care if it's warm up here. Because you know why? I got friends. I used to live up here in Wisconsin. Don't give me a ticket back and forth. You know, in case I have to come back for a reason. And my brother's going to be out of prison. I like that. Okay? He's just in prison because he has some crazy broad that went brother went ahead and testified against him. But at least when he was a drug dealer, I could understand it. Because he went for 3 times.
Have you?
That was a good way to go.
Have you ever encountered law enforcement, and do they mistreat you in any type of way?
Of course! I beat the shit and daylight out of them. I like that. As a matter of fact, the cop that I might be going down in Florida is about 330 pounds, about 6'8" or so. His name's Tom Rose. He's a very nice guy. And, like I said, he'll probably just give me the round trip ticket. So if I do it until my brother gets out. Otherwise, when I get my Social Security, I'll just put down some money on duplex. My brother can own it. Because I can't have none. In the old stuff, you can't have none. Okay?
No matter where we are in the world, no matter color of our skins, creed, religion, status, nor gender, poverty have no discrimination which smites its devastating blow. Here's what the full impact of what poverty can do.
We come together this afternoon to send our love to Anthony as he begins his life in spirit. We unite in our thoughts and hearts as we ask that he be surrounded by the love and healing we know is so freely given by those who live in the light.
No matter what he faced, he was smiling. No matter how he felt inside, he was laughing. And it gave me such inspiration to know that a man sleeping under a bridge who had absolutely nothing could still be happy. It gave me hope.
I for one was very encouraged to hear about his overcoming the alcohol and other influences. It's not an easy road, not an easy road for anybody, but with the stress and the drama and the lifestyle that we live, it's even more hard.
Even though it's been a sad occasion, it's a happy occasion in spite of. We've all came together and celebrated life with my nephew. We hope that his spirit will linger on in the heart of his friends and his family. Amen.
Despite the tragedy that follows in the footsteps of poverty, it had brought a community of people together. And with an understanding of what poverty is, comes the light of hope.
It's a frightening thought thinking about what poverty can really do to the human spirit. However, at the same time, it is comforting knowing that humanity will always rise above all vices and adversaries. The city of Milwaukee, like anywhere else in the world, were ordinary people who sometimes are defined by the acts of bravery, love, kindness, and compassion that make them extraordinary. And if you roam the street of Milwaukee at night helpless and alone, with just one call away, the street angel may just pay you a visit, no matter where you are, who you are, or whatever your zip code may be. If there's truly angels on earth, you may just find them right here in the city of Milwaukee.
Oh man, I was wondering what happened to you.
I guess we're a little bit different than, say, a homeless shelter or a warming center. 3 nights a week, we actually go in our vehicles to about 30 different camps throughout Milwaukee County, which totals up to about, right now, about 50 people a night. In the summer, that doubles. So we are traveling 70 miles around the city, providing meals, hygiene, basic needs to anybody who needs it. And to date, we're well over 10,000 meals in 1 year. Our mission statement is being the extension cord to provide people, to be able to connect them to the resources, the housing, medical treatment, etc.
My definition of poverty is basically people who can't afford to survive the way that some of us are able to. Poverty could include not having food, not having shelter, not having clothing, or having the bare minimum of everything.
Poverty is working 2 to 3 jobs and still not being able to provide for your family.
We like to look at the meals as a tool. A lot of the people that we interact with are very mistrusting because of what has happened to them throughout their lifetimes. So we like to look at the meal as a tool to open up a relationship between that person and get them to trust us. And we've built some tremendous, real, amazing friendships out here. So we like to look at ourselves as hope dealers because we can see the joy in their faces when we pull up with all these donations that were given to us from people that have never even met them. And you can see how much it means to them to know that there's people that care. People that don't even know them care. So
10,000 meals is great, but it's how many people are being helped emotionally.
It costs us the room, it costs us food, it costs us the toiletries and all that type of stuff. And we're helping out another guy, because that's how we are. Even when we can't help ourselves, we're helping out. If you notice, there's that guy that takes longer of us a while. He's out on the street, so instead of having him freeze, we're saying, sure, you can come in there. And we can't help him that much, but we try to as much as we can.
Do you need another meal then? Is he here tonight?
He's here. You don't gotta do that, trust me. That's not why I brought him here. I was just saying we're trying to help. We're trying to help him.
For me, when I first started coming out, it was extremely depressing. I went home every night and I cried. I was at the camps and I was crying and trying to hide it because I've learned that they don't want us to come out here and feel sorry for them. That's not what they need. What they need is somebody to come out here and lift their spirits. And sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes they're lifting my spirits, quite often.
Homelessness doesn't care if you're white, if you're black, if you're Asian. It doesn't
If you're
matter.
a citizen.
It doesn't matter if you're 70. It doesn't matter if you're 13.
We're not only looking for homeless people, we're looking to help the community in general. If somebody's there who needs help, we're going to help them. A lot of them are depending on us, and it might not be for that meal. There's places they can eat if they need to, but I think it's the consistency, the friendship, the connections that we can offer them. Some of them don't have phones. We can make phone calls for them, and when we see them again, give them the research that they were looking for, and that's why we like to think of ourselves as an extension cord. Because we're able to do things for them that they can't do for themselves in order to get those resources. Band-Aids help, they're great, but we need to get to the root of the problem, and we need to give these people real options, not places where they don't want to go, not places where they're forced to go. As long as he has a bus ticket, they won't be able to ask him to leave, so he can stay until the bus leaves. Each individual may need different types of resources or help in order to get them where they need to be. And in my opinion, in the richest country in the world, there should be no one sleeping on the streets, especially when it's weather that you can freeze to death in. And we see it here in Milwaukee every year. There's people that freeze to death. Whether it be homeless or not, there's people that freeze to death.
It's nice to see everyone coming in together to speak their mind and share their experience with us. There are so many solutions offered from so many people, and yet so often we neglect to see what's right before our very eyes and fail to look upon ourselves to initiate change. Milwaukee is a great and magnificent city. Let's make it greater by creating a healthy and safer environment for all to live. A city with a mind of its own, unique and indivisible by itself. A city enriched with culture and diversity, inorganically engineered to change the lives of many who believe in the American dream and the growth and transformation of a greater city to come. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show. As a final word to all who are watching, may you be at the comfort of your home, workplace, or anywhere you may be. Make sure you make good choices, be kind always, and be humbly compassionate towards one another, because that may just be the key to building a better community, inside and outside of nowhere in Milwaukee.